Alright, what's going on YouTube? Alright, this is on the 91 Pontiac Firebird, 82 through 92, all third gens, V6, 3.1, 2.8. I was running into some difficulties the other day. I got in here and I just got through taking it from down the road not too long ago the other day and came back and the car just died. I'm like, what the heck's going on now? So I tried starting it up. It would not start for the life of it. Would not do anything. But the only way I could keep it running or keep it started was to keep my foot on the accelerator. And then to fire right on up and idle pretty as please, as long as my foot was on that accelerator. So this is the other symptom that you can also tell if your idle air control valve is starting to fail, starting to go bad. Maybe it's just dirty, you know. Any of the symptoms of stalling, having to keep the foot on the accelerator, keep it running, backfiring through the intake, throughout the exhaust, stuff like that. So what I done, I'm gonna go and pop this hood. Glad I don't have to have the 2x4 to hold this hood up now, because I just went ahead and installed brand new shocks on it today. So now I don't have to have a 2x4 holding this hood up. So anyway, back on the idle air control valve. So what I done was I shut the vehicle completely down and I ended up removing this, and come to find out the little needle valve was all the way back out again, which is either allowing too much airflow to come through, or it's actually cutting off the air, because it almost sounded like it wasn't getting enough airflow. So with my foot being on the throttle, I was able to keep it running. I was able to keep that airflow kind of coming through, because I'm also opening up the throttle body. So that allows the air to come through. So, to kind of help keep misleading and misinformation down on the down low, if I'm actually reading this correctly, if the needle part is completely out, then that would actually mean that it's either cutting off the airflow or allowing too much airflow, one of the two. But either way, it was keeping it from running. And like I said, the only way I'd have to keep it running was my foot on the accelerator, which it would, you know, like I said, it would stall, just run poor, a little bit of spit and sputter as it's idling, and that can be due to this. This here is not always going to throw a check engine light on this car. Yeah, I wasn't even getting no check engine light whatsoever. Now on other cars, newer vehicles, you're going to get a check engine light. I don't know why it's wasn't throwing a check engine light. I have no clue. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Anyway, but I'm going to show you how to clean this idle air control valve. All you're going to need is a T20, or actually in this case looks like this may be a TX20. I don't know. T20. Come over here. I think I've got it on the, yeah. Alright. Go ahead and unplug this. You can unplug your battery if you want. Normally I do, but just being this, I'm not going to worry too much about it. But I want to go ahead and remove these two bolts real quick. Alright, so now that I got the two bolts removed, and just pull it out. Now, notice, as the vehicle is off, the valve here is now, might as well say closed, because if it was out more, it would actually be opened. So actually at this point, it's actually closed. It's actually ran in. So like I was telling on the other video that I made here a while back, when you shut the vehicle off, this valve here screws back in. Okay, when you turn the vehicle on and to start it, then this valve will slowly work out. And this also fluctuates back and forth. You give it more throttle, it's going to push out more. Give it less throttle, it's going to kind of come back in a little bit. And this here actually adjusts the airflow of fuel and air mixture so that the engine can run properly. So that is that. Now I'm going to take this over to the table real quick, and you want to use either carburetor cleaner or intake or throttle body cleaner to clean any carbon. Now I'm thinking the reason why it started doing what it did on me was this here is actually sticking a little bit, and it's very good possible. So what we'll do is I can remove this completely out. I'll clean it up, and I'm not gonna use a whole lot of grease, but I'm just gonna use just a little bit of grease just to help kind of give a little bit more lubrication, so that way it will work properly like it's supposed to. But I'm going to be replacing this. This is actually a Duralast from AutoZone, but I'm going to be replacing this. I've got a brand new Delphi auto air control valve coming in tomorrow. So yay, a little bit better brand, a little bit better quality, and it's for OE. So heck yeah. And also, before I get started taking this out, you want to actually kind of push down on this spring so that way it don't bend when you're trying to turn it, and lefty loosey, righty tighty. You just kind of want to press down a little bit on that spring, and then you can remove the valve here. Also be careful with the spring that you do not lose it. Just when you pull the valve out, just slowly let this up, because if you just let go of it, then the spring's going to pop out. This was what the other thing I think I was talking on the other video. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but when you pull this out, if you was just to see if it would be working properly, when you turn the key on, make sure you got your hand in front of it, because when you turn that key on, this thing is going to basically screw out, and it's going to fling the spring. Everything's going to just fling off. So just be sure to be very careful with this. Now I'm going to take some intake or carburetor cleaner here in a second. I'm going to show you this valve here. See this? Yeah, we could see it if you get your camera cleared. I'll tell you what, people's been having some bad issues with their cameras lately, and I am one of them too. Just cannot get it clear. I'm trying to get it clear for you guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. I don't know what's going on here. Hang on. Alright, so I kind of get a little bit clearer, I guess. But you see all that black residue on there? That's just a little bit of carbon build up. It's not too bad, but I'm going to be cleaning all that off. And you can kind of see the threads. They've got a little bit of grease in there anyhow, but I'm going to clean all that off, and I'm going to actually put some new grease and stuff in there. But I guess when it gets dry, or the carbon gets built up a little bit on it, which is normal, it's going to cause it to stick, and it'll cause it kind of sticking, so that's going to cause some issues with starting and all that other good stuff. I'm going to just use carb cleaner, but you can see how much cleaner it is now. I'm going to just take the paper towel and just kind of wipe it and clean it up really good. Now I'm sure you could probably take some all-purpose grease and recoat them threads, but what I'm going to use, because I know this stuff actually works wonders, is some lubricant for like your brakes and your sliding pins for your brakes and stuff, or your calipers. I'm going to use this for that screw, and it only takes a little bit. Don't take a whole lot, just enough to get it. Just kind of take it, and just enough to kind of get it coated in there. Don't take a whole lot in here. Dang it. Don't take a whole lot in here. I am freaking using a bunch of it. Go figure. It's alright. A little more won't hurt, right? More lubrication, the better. And then I'm just going to take my fingers and clean, lube it up. I know it looks like a lot, but it really isn't. It just looks that way on camera. So now it's just a reverse process, and I'm just going to stick it back in there. But before I stick it back in this, I am actually going to clean that spring, and I'm going to use some of that carb cleaner, or if I've got a little bit of that intake throttle body cleaner, I'll actually use it on this. This here really don't matter, it's just mainly all that in there. I went ahead and pulled it apart, got it back together, and got it cleaned up for the most part. So I'm just going to be putting the needle valve back in it. And you just do it in reverse. Press the little spring down and screw it back in. So it'll set just like that right there. And oh yeah, and don't forget your O-ring. So yeah, definitely don't forget your O-ring. Definitely need that. And then we'll just pop it back in there. Pop it back in. And then get your screws. And put the screws back in. And also be sure when you go to tighten these down, I kind of like going kind of like a 12 o'clock position, and give or take about, literally about a 2 o'clock position roughly, and that should get her good and snugged. And then plug your plug back in. You don't really want to over tighten them because that is aluminum, it will strip. Now that we were back in the car and we cleaned it, got all the carbon deposits all cleaned up, got it taken apart and lubricated. Should start up with a little bit of ease. Like I said, now it still may have a little problem in it because damn V6 sounds like it got a deckgum cam off in it. But I'm also at a quarter of a tank too, and the sending unit is not properly positioned in there. Now like I said, it's still kind of got a little bit of a rough idle to it. It's not as bad as it was. But it's still kind of rough, and that has to do with that auto air control valve too. And also, the other reason you can tell if it's the auto air control valve is you can also watch your RPMs. If it's fluctuating like that, that means that the auto air control valve is going bad. It's failing. Although it is a brand new part, it does not matter. That's a sure sign auto air control valve is going out. It should never sit there and fluctuate back and forth. It should be at a nice constant idle, and it should not have a rough idle to it. And this has kind of got a little bit of a rough idle. So, like I said, I'll be getting a Delphi, putting this thing tomorrow, and I'm sure the idle is going to be a lot more crisp and clear. But anyway, that, by doing what I did, cleaning it and everything, that should fix majority of y'all's issues if y'all have that issue. So where you have to press the accelerator to keep it running. But you can see that I don't have to now. So anyway, hopefully this video helps. Like, subscribe, share, and come back and watch some more content. Like I said, I'll be getting to the fuel pump and the sending unit hopefully this week. I've got it all ordered, so it should be in late this week. So everything is coming along nicely. Everything's going to be all right. So anyway, I'll see y'all guys later. Bye.